The investment company Baillie Gifford are stopping sponsoring several literary festivals, and I'm quite sure that your first reaction to that terrible news would be, "Give sorrow words, the grief that does not speak knits up the o'erwrought heart and bids it break." Or, in other words, so what? But yes, we do have to worry about this, because it's just another attack on our culture from people who are more concerned with Gaza than Gloucester. I'm Granniopteryx. I've never been to a literary festival. Is it a fount of creativity or an opportunity for a lot of Luvvies to scratch each other's backs up close and personal? In many ways, the sort of people who inhabit those places remind me of a quote by an American vice president by the name of Spiro Agnew. Now, I've got it here. Don't want to get it wrong. "A spirit of national masochism prevails," he said, "encouraged by an effete corps of impudent snobs who characterise themselves as intellectuals." He said that in 1969, and it turns out that Agnew might have been a lot more prescient than his contemporaries, or even history, has ever given him credit for. So, the literary festival is dying because some of the stars of these junkets have refused to participate, on the grounds that some of the funding comes from businesses that have links with businesses that have links with Israel. What will this mean? Well, either the festivals will simply not take place, or they will, but the only funders ideologically pure enough will be funders from that area so well known for its respect of human rights, the Middle East. And who's going to make a guess about the sort of subjects covered by a literary festival funded by Qatar, for example? That's why we do have to be concerned about the mob turning on something like Baillie Gifford. It's these literary festivals which set the agenda for all sorts of things, entertainments, publications, and even government policies ultimately. Breitbart warned us a while ago that politics is downstream of culture. You change the culture and you end up changing the politics. And it's fairly easy to change a culture if you throw enough money at the sort of people who are in power and want to maintain their comfortable lives. And the sort of people I'm talking about are what we might term the BBC Guardians. They're overriding. Look, I've spent a lot of time around those guys, and I do know that their overriding characteristic is the sort of ethical cowardice that would make Gollum look like Margaret Thatcher. And I'm afraid they're in very high evidence in the literary festival circuit. Those guys just want to rub along with the crowd, consider themselves intellectuals, and be accepted. And they'll collapse at the merest breath of a chilly wind of disapproval. Well, collapse faster than a souffle taken out of the oven too early, and I've done that plenty of times. The sad thing is that the demise of the literary festival is not to be celebrated. They're part of a cultural landscape that's disappearing rather quickly, and often for the most well-intentioned of reasons. Drink driving laws, for instance, have saved many lives and killed many pubs where people used to gather and now no longer do. And church halls, well, they're converted into flats to accommodate our ever-growing population. We're losing our communal spaces, and the death of the literary festival, choked of funding by the agents of those who'd prefer our communal meetings to be held in mosques, is just another nail in our cultural coffin. And while we think about that, I'll say till next time. You can help my channel by clicking like, by subscribing, by clicking the notification bell and by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels are in the description, also links to donation sites, but really the best way you can help me is simply by clicking like. Thank you.